Richani, TSC, holy doodle squat. We had a wild final afternoon of NFL action. This was borderline NFL playoff action. The Pittsburgh Steelers are out. That's right, out. Despite narrowly defeating the Cincinnati Bengals with some kicker that they signed off the street. I don't even remember what the kid's name is. This dude from Texas or whatever his name is who actually made field goals. Despite hitting the field goals when it mattered most, it was the Baltimore Ravens defense. Okay, Matt McCrane. If anybody other than the immediate family of Matt McCrane knows who he is, well, I'd like to meet you. He hit several clutch field goals to have the Steelers narrowly edge out their rival Cincinnati Bengals, keeping their playoff hopes alive. And they needed the Browns, of all teams, the Cleveland Browns, to defeat the Baltimore Ravens. And the Browns came this freaking close. Final score, 26-24. Baker Mayfield intercepted on the final drive on 4th down. The number one defense came up big when it mattered most. Lamar Jackson is in the postseason. On top of that, Kirk Cousins, Mr. $84 million man. He's like the anti-Ted DiBiase. The anti-Ted DiBiase. He sucked. What do you want me to say? He stunk out the joint. The overrated Vikings defense stunk out the joint. And the Chicago Bears won. But the Rams, they clinched the number 2 seed. And that means that the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, along with their MVP, Nick Foles, who was banged up a little bit with the chest, but seems to be okay, they will go on to the playoffs. And wow, I just, my mind is blown. It was a crazy day. I mean, think about it. The Cleveland Browns, and this old Browns team would have been a pushover for anybody. But Baker Mayfield brought it down to the wire. And I know that Pat Mahomes pretty much destroying the touchdown record, only behind now Peyton Manning throwing 50 touchdowns. It's insane. I know Pat Mahomes is probably going to be the MVP. But if you look at what Baker Mayfield has done for the Cleveland Browns who won one game in the last 2 years. Think about that. One game in the last 2 years before he got there. Just unbelievable. I don't think he should get any first place votes or anything like that, but if the Browns made the playoffs, you can make the argument that he should have everybody's vote. And I think, knock on wood, if they hire the right head coach, because I don't think Greg Williams is staying, I don't think anybody does, if they keep their heads on straight, and if they stay healthy and avoid the usual Cleveland bad luck, this team can be scary as hell. But let's talk about the teams that are officially in the playoffs right now. Rams got their business done, 48-32, demolishing the 49ers. The score wasn't as close as it seems. Bills, even though they went 6-10, they ended up winning 42-17 against the Dolphins, and I think Ryan Tannehill's going to have to find a new home. Now, CPM here online is saying that the Steelers technically are not out. If the Colts and Titans tie, they are in. And you are right, and I appreciate you pointing that out. However, I should also note that the Titans are starting Blaine Gabbert. So if the Colts cannot beat Blaine Gabbert, they don't deserve to make the playoffs. Now, there is a chance the Titans' running game, the defense, which I think are built for the postseason, can carry them to a win, but I don't know, man. Andrew Luck is looking pretty good right now, so we will see what happens there. As far as other scores around the league, a pathetic, absolutely pathetic performance by the Green Bay Packers. 31-0. 31-0. Terrible. Lions end their 6-10 season on a high note, but I think Matt Patricia's an overrated coach, and Matthew Stafford, I mean, we talk about guys that haven't delivered. Guys had over 10 years to deliver for the Detroit Lions, and he hasn't done it at all. So I think they should try to get rid of him. I know there's not a lot of good starting quarterbacks in the NFL, but try in the draft, make a trade, do something, because staying in status quo ain't going to do you any good. Maybe they shouldn't have fired Jim Caldwell. Just saying. Patriots, they clinched a first-round bye, demolishing the New York Jets 38-3. This was just, for the most part, total domination. We also had, like I said, Nick Foles went down with a chest injury later in the game against the Skins, but Nate Sudfeld looked good, threw a touchdown pass. They got the win over the Skins. Think about that, right? Josh Johnson hadn't played in years, did relatively well, but had they signed a certain guy, I don't know, I forgot his initials. I think it would have been by the name of, I think they were like CK, it might have been Calvin Klein. His name escapes me. Maybe, just maybe they would have had a chance to actually, get to the playoffs, but they opted not to, and it is what it is. That being said, Johnson was a good story while it lasted. The Falcons, in a kind of sort of meaningless game, division rival game, defeated the Bucs 34-32. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that Dirk Koetter, Dirk Diggler, whatever the hell his damn name is, of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the head coach, he is to be fired or is already fired as we speak. He didn't do anything of note. I guess they're going to bring Jameis Winston back and try to do something with them, even though this guy's been accused, I think, 3 times at this point of sexual assault in his relatively young life. But hey, he can throw a ball, so let's bring him back, even though he hasn't done jack shit in the league for the most part. But hey, pardon my language. We had the Texans clinch the AFC South, defeating the Jaguars 20-3 in what is probably Blake Bortles' last game in Jacksonville. I don't really see where he ends up. I don't really see him coming back from this, but I don't know. This league manages to take some awful white QBs and keep them in the league for too long. I mean, Brock Osweiler's hung around, so I guess there's a spot somewhere for Blake Bortles. I mean, look, if Nathan Peterman can find a roster spot, I mean, I guess Blake Bortles can, but I'm not terribly excited for his future. Chargers beat the Broncos 23-9. Chiefs demolished the Raiders here 35-3. Look at these numbers from Pat Mahomes here, right? 14 for 24, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just a beast. A beast. Had an interception too, but 50 touchdown passes to close out the year. 50 touchdown passes to close out the year. I believe only 12 interceptions. Yeah, he's the MVP, but I think Baker Mayfield should get some love too. Bears, with nothing really to play. Well, they had something to play for at first, which was the number 2 seed. They didn't get it. But still, after the first half, they could have rested their starters. They could have just taken it easy. But no, they kept playing. They kept doing their thing. And they defeated the Vikings, who had everything to lose, 24-10. There was a hilarious clip of Kirk Cousins on the sideline trying to kind of coach Adam Thielen, one of the best receivers in the league. I know some people like to call him sneaky great and all this crap. I hate when they say that about certain guys. Adam Thielen's one of the best in the league. And you have Kirk Cousins, third, fourth, fifth Cousins, trying to coach this guy up on how to run routes. I need more time and I need this. No, dude. You need to do your job. Okay? Same thing happened with him against the Giants a couple years back. I mean, you look at the numbers, okay, 20 for 33, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. Not a bad game if your name is, I don't know, Deshaun Kaiser or something, but Kirk Cousins, he wasn't good. They only ran the ball 15 times. Just brutal effort all around by the Minnesota Vikings, who are out of the playoffs. Steelers, as I mentioned, finished the season strong, 16-13 against the 6-10 Bengals, but they're out of the playoffs. Seahawks clinched the 5th seed, go 10-6, win 27-24 over the Cardinals, and the Eagles got the job done, 24-0. So all that's left to sort out is Colts versus Titans. Colts are in the driver's seat right now. They win, they stay in. The Titans with Blaine Gabbert, if they somehow, some way, find a way to win, they're in the postseason. And look, if Mariota somehow, some way can get healthy, maybe call John Jones's doctor or something and heal himself up, then hey, I think the Titans could be a very dangerous dark horse, but that would require them to have a quarterback, and that would require them to have a quarterback not named Blaine Gabbert, and one that can actually stay healthy and not live half the time in an ambulance. But folks, I want to hear from you. What'd you think about this wild and crazy final NFL regular season afternoon? Who are your Super Bowl picks? And how do you see things going down for the teams that didn't make the playoffs? The Steelers. Are they going to dump Mike Tomlin, which I think would be a stupid decision, by the way, but evidently people think Mike Tomlin's a problem, not the quarterback that buries everybody into the media. What's going to happen with the Browns in terms of head coach? Who should the Bucs hire as their next head coach? Where does Mike McCarthy end up? Who do the Packers hire? What the hell is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, who, oh, by the way, left the game with concussion-like symptoms? We shall see. But I want to hear from you. Let me know. Leave a comment below. Tweet us, Facebook us. Do what you got to do. If you enjoyed this special recap, please like, share, take care. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Facebook. Don't forget to enable notifications. Until then, I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the games.